Episode 27. Afrasyab moved to the city of Bukhara with his army. He stayed there for a while and then went to another city. Kay-Khosrow and his army were following Afrasyab. Kay-Khosrow ordered his soldiers not to harm civilians on the way. Finally, Iran army reached to Tooran army and they surrounded Tooranians. Afrasyab did not want to surrender, so he decided to fight. Afrasyab army could kill a lot of Iranian soldiers. The battle was tough and deadly. Night arrived and the two army went back to their camps to rest. Kay-Khosrow got a message from Rostam and found that he is arriving tomorrow for help. And the army from Azerbaijhan is joining them for help too. Afrasyab spies informed him about Rostam's arrival. Afrasyab was worried. He knew that he cannot win Iran army then. He decided to make a sudden attack to Iran's camp that night. But his officers did not agree. They told Afrasyab, "It is better for us to block the way for Rostam's army. This way we can defeat Rostam easily. And then we attack Kay-Khosrow's army." The next morning Iranians found that Tooran army had left their camp. Kay-Khosrow found about Afrasyab's plot. He commanded his army to follow Tooran army. Afrasyab's plot failed. Now he had to fight with two armies, Rostam's army and Kay-Khosrow's army. This was not possible for him. There was a huge solid castle near the war zone. That castle was not easy to conquer and there was a way from the castle to some villages which were Tooran allies. So Afrasyab decided to go there. Rostam and Kay-Khosrow surrounded the castle. Afrasyab sent a message to Kay-Khosrow through his son, John. John gave the message to Kay-Khosrow. Afrasyab wrote that he could stay in this castle for a year and he can easily get food and drink for his soldiers from the near villages. Winter is coming and Iranians may die of cold weather if they want to continue surrounding the castle. So it is better for Iranians to let him go out of Tooran to a far place and live there in peace. But Kay-Khosrow did not agree with this suggestion. Rostam made a plan. He made a big fire near the castle wall. The wall was destroyed and Iranians entered the castle. They could captivate a lot of Tooranians but they could not find Afrasyab. Afrasyab escaped to China. He had a good relation with Chinese and asked for help. China's king accepted. Kay-Khosrow and his army arrived close to China. There was a severe battle between the two sides. Night arrived and two armies went to their camps. That night, Rostam told Kay-Khosrow, "I believe that Afrasyab will attack us tonight. Let's give him a good lesson." That night Iranian soldiers made some big holes around the camp. They put out the flames. And they pretended they were all sleeping. Afrasyab had a plan to raid Iranians at night. When he saw there was no light from Iran's side, he believed they were all sleeping. His soldiers attacked Iran's camp but they fell in the holes. A lot of them died. Afrasyab decided to escape and save his life. When China's king heard of Afrasyab's escape, he was angry and he regretted helping Tooranians. China's king sent a message to Kay-Khosrow and asked for peace. Kay-Khosrow agreed. Afrasyab and his men arrived to the city of Gongdej. Kay-Khosrow asked China's king to give them some ships. He agreed. Iranians got on the ships, passed the sea and arrived to Gongdej but they could not find Afrasyab there. They stayed there for a while. The city was very beautiful and modern. Iranians were getting disappointed of finding Afrasyab. So they decided to go back to Iran. They went back to Iran and they were welcomed by courtmen and people. Afrasyab's brother, Garcivaz and his son, John were among Tooranian captives. Tooran country now belonged to Iran. But there was no trace of Afrasyab. One day Gudars went to the temple to pray. There he met an old spiritual man named Hum. Hum told Gudars, "Sir, some days ago when I was in the temple, I heard voice of a man. The voice came from a cave near the temple. When I went there, I saw an old man with ragged clothes. I was suspicious to him to be Afrasyab. But the old man escaped and I could not captivate him. Gudars informed King Kay-Khosrow about this. King Kay-Khosrow decided to make a plan. He brought Garsivaz to that area and told him to talk about Tooran's victory. While Garsivaz was talking, Afrasyab, who heard his brother's voice, came out of his shelter and Iranians arrested him. Kay-Khosrow ordered the execution of Afrasyab and his evil brother Garsivaz. And this was the final fate of King Afrasyab. Sometime later, King Kay-Khosrow, who was very old, passed away and Kay-Khosrow mourned for his grandfather for 40 days. Although Kay-Khosrow had obtained a lot of victories, he was feeling depressed. Kay-Khosrow gave the responsibility of Tooran to John, Afrasyab's son. John was a fair man and he was not like his evil father. John thanked Kay-Khosrow for his kind behavior with him and his family. Kay-Khosrow told John to be a man of justice and behave well with the people. Several years passed. Peace was established in the area and everything was going well. One day King Kay-Khosrow decided to go to a temple and pray. He wanted to be away from ego. He did not talk very much and spent most of his time praying in the temple. One night he saw a dream. In his dream he saw angel Sarush. Sarush told Kay-Khosrow, "You will soon come to the eternal world. Get ready and make Afraysyab your successor." The courtmen were worried of King's behavior. He did not talk much and spent most of his time in temple. They sent a message to Rostam and Zal and told them about their worry. Rostam and Zal arrived to the capital. They talked to Kay-Khosrow to come back to the castle. Kay-Khosrow told them about his dream. Zal said, "But Afraysyab is not a prince." Kay-Khosrow said, "This is what God wants and I do what he wants." Kay-Khosrow gathered his men in an open space. He talked to them about the mortality of life and asked them to be kind to people and stay away from ego and tyranny. Then he put his crown on Afrasyab's head. The next day Kay-Khosrow decided to go to the mountains. The courtmen were worried for him, so they followed him too. But in the middle of the way, Kay-Khosrow asked them to leave. Only 5 commanders stayed with him. Give, Tus, Bijan, Faribors and Gostaham. The 6 men went forward. The weather was getting dark. Kay-Khosrow told them, "Tomorrow when you wake up, you will not see me here. Please go back soon. Tomorrow night there would be a huge snow in the mountain. If you stay here longer, you may get stuck in the snow and die." Tomorrow when the 5 men woke up, they could not find Kay-Khosrow. Faribors said, "King asked us to go down the mountain and not search for him." But Bijan and others did not agree. They decided to look for Kay-Khosrow. But they could not find him. And as Kay-Khosrow had predicted, a huge snow started to fall. They tried to go down the mountain, but they could not survive, and they all died there. After this tragedy, Afraysyab was the next king. And all the courtmen showed their respect to him. End of episode 27. Thank you for watching. See you soon.